Drawing hands is hard and more when your character is reading. And if your character has sweaty hands, things can also get sticky. And pages can stick to the fingers. But don't overcomplicate things because we can make it easy. First of all, always simplify your hands into geometrical figures, doesn't matter how sweaty and sticky they are. Personally, I always like to use simple lines when sketching the fingers. After you simplify your hands into geometrical figures, you are going to realize how easy it becomes to draw them even if they're full of sweat. And it doesn't matter from which angle your character is flipping the book pages, it can always be simplified into geometrical figures. Don't forget that book pages can be very delicate, so when flipping them, don't be too harsh. So even if your hands are sweaty, be very delicate so the book pages don't tear. And that's it, very easy. To accurately paint your OC Stoat, let's first choose your OC main plain skin color. Then you paint your Stoat using that as a main color. Then choose your OC's blush color and fade it over the Stoat. To accurately paint the head of the Stoat, use a darker color. Personally, I am using my OC's tongues colors as a reference. To accurately paint your Stoat's belly, create a color between the head and their body. Remember that sometimes you can have a chubby Stoat with a little bit of fat around the neck. And if that's the case, don't forget to add the shadows of the fat sprinkles. If your Stoat is very chubby, these shadows will go all over the belly as well. And personally, I also like to paint their legs darker. If your Stoat is not only chubby but also strong like an alpha, they may also have some scars from previous battles. For these scars, use a light blue if the skin is lighter or a light green if the skin is darker. I personally hate when my mayo leaks out of my burger, and I'm sure your characters as well. And the only way to clean the mayo when it leaks out is by licking it. When one of my characters is licking the mayo out of a burger, I love to draw them in a side angle. Side angles can be a little bit complicated, and more if you are drawing the nose and the mouth. But when you are struggling, remember to simplify them both in triangles. The nose for obvious reasons, and the mouth because when it opens to lick something, and more when it is in a side angle, it takes the shape of a little triangle. And it's not only the nose or the mouth, but when you draw a face in a side angle, almost everything can be simplified in small triangles. The lips, the chin, even the eyes. Of course, there are other ways to draw and simplify side faces, but this is one of them. And this is how you draw your characters licking the mayo out of a burger. Pretty easy, no? After the Olympic Games, it seems that everybody wants to talk about breakdancing, but do you know how to draw somebody breakdancing? I know that when looking for references of somebody doing breakdance, it can be a little bit scary because of the movements and the angles of this sport. But if you have seen my previous videos, you know that I'm a firm believer that everything can be easy if you simplify it. And that includes breakdance as well. So don't get overwhelmed by your breakdancing references. Just simplify them into geometrical figures. And you will realize that it doesn't matter how complicated their pose looks, everything will become much easier once you simplify it. Please take into consideration that this advice doesn't need to be used only when drawing people breakdancing. You can really do it with any type of activity. Swimming, running, stretching, it doesn't matter. Just simplify it and it will be easy. A bag of marbles is both soft and hard because the marbles inside will always be harder than the bag holding them. So if the mouth is only playing with the bag but not the marbles, this one is going to be extremely malleable. But if the mouth is playing with both the marbles and the bag, things will change a little bit. Because it will still be a little bit soft, but the shape is not gonna change that much. However, when pressing, the pressure will still be noticeable. The best place for the mouth and the tongue to play is within both marbles, exactly in the middle. Don't press too hard and do not use your teeth because you can damage the bag. And if the damage is bad enough, the marbles can fall. Just as my pride falls every time I beg my ex. And once it falls, you can never pick it up. So it doesn't matter if you're licking or sucking, always be careful with the pressure. And that's it, pretty easy. I hope you have fun drawing your bag of marbles.